What if the most underestimated revolution in crypto happened right under everyone's nose, processing billions in institutional money while retail chased memes? Picture this. While crypto Twitter obsessed over the latest Dogcoin pump, there's a blockchain that quietly facilitated $3.4 billion in real-world asset payments in Q1 2025 alone. I'm talking about Stellar. And the data I'm about to show you will completely rewrite your understanding of where smart money is actually flowing in 2025. Here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. According to the Stellar Development Foundation's Q1 2025 quarterly report, this network processed 471.2 million operations in just 3 months, supporting 11.28 million total accounts with 10.29 million monthly active users. That represents a staggering 28% quarter-over-quarter growth in active engagement. But here's the kicker. Most people have never even heard of it. Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening behind closed doors while everyone's distracted by speculative nonsense. The $580 million Franklin Templeton validation that changed everything. Think about this for a second. Franklin Templeton, managing $1.6 trillion in assets under management, didn't just experiment with blockchain. They tokenized their entire U.S. government money market fund on Stellar, representing over $580 million in institutional capital. This fund became the third largest tokenized treasury fund globally, expanding into European markets through Luxembourg registration. But wait, it gets better. This tokenization delivered 99.75% cost reduction compared to traditional fund operations, generating $200 million in annual remediation savings. We're not talking about theoretical use cases here. This is operational at enterprise scale, with institutions controlling more wealth than most countries' GDP choosing Stellar as their blockchain infrastructure. The numbers are absolutely staggering. By Q1 2025, Stellar's ecosystem reached $757 million in real-world assets, with the Stellar Development Foundation targeting an explosive $3 billion by year-end. That's a 10x increase from 2024's $290 million base. Partners include Paxos for regulated stablecoins, Ondo for tokenized treasuries, Etherfuse for Latin American bonds, and SG Forge, Societe Generale's blockchain division for regulated financial instruments. The MoneyGram network effect that's flying under the radar. Now pay close attention to this game-changing integration. MoneyGram's partnership with Stellar created the world's largest crypto-to-cash distribution network, over 300,000 physical locations across 170-plus countries, enabling instant USDC conversion. In Q1 2025 alone, this infrastructure processed $1.5 billion in remittance transactions, a 45% increase from Q4 2024. But here's what absolutely blew my mind when I discovered this data. Traditional remittance systems charge average fees of 6 to 7%, according to World Bank statistics. Stellar reduces this to under 1% while achieving settlement in seconds instead of days. For the 1.4 billion unbanked individuals globally, this represents a revolutionary bridge to digital finance without requiring traditional bank accounts. The integration extends far beyond simple transfers. ChipperCash, Africa's leading fintech, serving over 5 million customers, now enables real-time cash in and cash out through MoneyGram agents powered by Stellar's rails. This seamless connection between physical cash economies and digital finance represents infrastructure-level change that most retail investors completely miss. The PayPal integration that validates Stellar's institutional readiness. This changes everything. PayPal announced PUSD integration onto Stellar in mid-2025, leveraging the network's 2-second finality for cross-border settlements. This targets small businesses with delayed receivables, offering instant financing that could inject $1 trillion in global commerce annually, according to Federal Reserve projections. PayPal's choice validates Stellar's technical superiority over alternatives. while Ethereum averages 15 transactions per second, with fees exceeding $2 during congestion, and Bitcoin processes just 7 TPS with enormous energy consumption, Stellar consistently delivers 1,000+ operations per second with average fees of $0.00015. That's not just better, it's orders of magnitude more efficient. The institutional momentum is accelerating rapidly. Between August 2024 and August 2025, Stellar secured partnerships with 4 major global payment companies: Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and Stripe's stablecoin division. Visa integrated Stellar into their global stablecoin settlement network as the first non-proof-of-stake blockchain in their framework, enabling enterprise payments with near-zero fees and instant settlement. Soroban smart contracts, the technical revolution most people missed. Let me break down something that could reshape decentralized finance entirely. Stellar's Soroban platform launched on mainnet in early 2025 after extensive testing, introducing Rust-based smart contracts compiled to WebAssembly for high-performance, secure applications. The technical specifications are remarkable. Soroban processes transactions at sub-cent costs, under $0.0001 per operation, while maintaining Stellar's hallmark 3 to 5 second finality. Unlike Ethereum's variable gas market where fees can spike to $50 during congestion, Soroban employs predictable, minimal fees regardless of network demand. By Q1 2025, Soroban recorded 12.9 million transactions across 89 deployed contracts, supported by a $100 million adoption fund from the Stellar Development Foundation. Over 200 new projects deployed in Q1 alone, contributing to total value locked reaching $2 billion, a 30% surge in April 2025. Protocols like Aqua and Blend drove this growth, capitalizing on Soroban's ultra-low costs to attract DeFi users seeking alternatives to expensive networks. The development momentum is extraordinary. The Stellar Development Foundation activated over 1,800 developers through workshops and hackathons in Q1 2025, resulting in practical applications spanning DeFi protocols, tokenized securities, and automated compliance systems. The CBDC revolution that's already started. Here's something that will surprise even seasoned blockchain observers. Multiple central banks are building digital currency infrastructure on Stellar's rails. Ukraine's Ministry of Digital Transformation partnered with Stellar to develop digital hryvnia infrastructure, while the Bahamas' Sand Dollar operates on Stellar, processing national-scale transactions for over 100,000 users. According to Bank for International Settlements reports, Stellar's architecture meets 87% of central bank requirements for CBDC infrastructure. This isn't speculation, it's documented institutional assessment from the world's central banking authority. With 20+ central banks studying or piloting projects incorporating XRPL infrastructure, Stellar is positioned at the forefront of sovereign digital currency adoption. The implications are staggering. As 90+ central banks explore digital currencies according to 2025 BIS surveys, Stellar's proven model for compliant, high-speed settlement provides a ready-made infrastructure layer that governments can deploy without building from scratch. The IBM WorldWire Institutional Foundation. IBM's WorldWire payment system, built on Stellar, connects 47 currencies across 72 countries for real-time settlements. This isn't pilot-stage experimentation, it's production infrastructure replacing traditional correspondent banking with direct, peer-to-peer settlements executing in seconds rather than days. Financial institutions using Stellar's on-demand liquidity report cost reductions of 40 to 60% compared to SWIFT networks. In 2024 alone, $2 billion in transactions flowed through the U.S.-Mexico corridor via the Bitso exchange, while Asia-Pacific regions accounted for 56% of global ODL volume, driven by expansions in Japan and the Philippines. The enterprise validation continues expanding. MasterCard integrated Stellar's crypto credential solution into its identity framework, while professional services firm Deloitte joined as a strategic advisor for CBDC development and tokenized securities on Stellar. The energy efficiency advantage nobody talks about. This might be the most underappreciated aspect of Stellar's infrastructure. While Bitcoin consumes energy equivalent to Argentina's national grid, Stellar's entire network uses approximately 261 megawatt-hours annually, equivalent to powering just 50 U.S. households. That's over 57,000 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin's proof-of-work model. Studies by Lund University estimate Stellar consumes just 0.173 watt-hours per transaction, comparable to running a modest web server. This sustainability advantage aligns with institutional ESG mandates while delivering superior performance metrics, a combination that's attracting enterprise adoption as environmental concerns intensify. Protocol 23, the scalability breakthrough coming September 2025. The upcoming Protocol 23 upgrade, scheduled for validator voting on September 3, 2025, introduces transformative enhancements that could revolutionize blockchain scalability.
The upgrade includes parallel transaction processing, in-memory state management, and WebAssembly module caching, pushing theoretical throughput toward 5,000 transactions per second. Live state prioritization separates frequently accessed data into memory-optimized structures, while archived entries are accessed on demand, enabling full-state archival capabilities. Multi-core transaction execution removes serialization bottlenecks that limit current blockchain performance, while aggressive caching eliminates repetitive parsing and validation overhead. These aren't incremental improvements. They're architectural advances that position Stellar for mainstream financial adoption at unprecedented scale. Real-world asset tokenization, the $110 billion target. Stellar is targeting $110 billion in real-world asset trading volume by year-end 2025, facilitated by partnerships spanning traditional finance institutions. WisdomTree's 13 blockchain-enabled mutual funds operate on Stellar, alongside regulated instruments from issuers like Franklin Templeton and Société Générale's Forge platform. The infrastructure enables complete lifecycle management of traditional financial products enhanced by blockchain efficiency. Tokenized bonds, treasuries, and securities include built-in compliance logic, automated dividend distributions, and programmable holding periods, features impossible with traditional settlement systems. Current tokenized asset supply reached $475.76 million by mid-2025, ranking Stellar third globally in RWA hosting. This represents 4.48% of the global tokenized asset market, with projections indicating massive expansion as institutional adoption accelerates throughout 2025. The market performance that reflects true utility. XLM's 2025 performance tells the story of genuine institutional adoption rather than speculative mania. The token surged 319% year-to-date through July 2025, driven by partnership announcements and network upgrades rather than retail hype. Trading around 44 to 46 cents with a market capitalization of $13.65 to $14.34 billion, XLM ranks among the top 15 cryptocurrencies by market value. Daily trading volumes consistently exceed $400 million, with institutional flows accounting for significant portions of activity. The network sustained 18.2 million weekly transactions, with 11% growth in active addresses, while total value locked reached $154.72 million, metrics demonstrating utility-driven demand rather than speculative trading.
And you guys, I have a special trick for you, which nobody seems to be using, and I cannot wrap my head around why. Because if you sign up through my link down in the description onto the BuyDefi exchange, you get a 10% deposit bonus. And now stay with me here. Now here comes the important part. If you have any trading capital on any other exchange and you move it to your newly created BuyDefi account, you get, on top of your capital, you moved another 10% extra trading capital. As an example, if you move or deposit a 10K to your account, you get 1K for free. And here is why this is possible. BuyDefi makes money on trading fees. The more capital you have, the more you trade. The more you trade, the more they earn. So they're literally investing in your trading activity by giving you extra capital up front. And unlike other platforms where bonuses are in the 1 to 3% range, BuyDefi's bonus is a full 10%. I am not kidding. I really don't understand why nobody is doing this. To me, it really seems like people sometimes are too lazy or just don't like free money. I kindly ask you to pause this video and take your time to make an account. You can thank me later in the description of this video.
Technical analysis reveals multiple bullish patterns forming throughout 2025, Elliott wave projections suggest targets of $0.50 to $0.60, with some models forecasting $0.75 by year-end based on continued institutional adoption and protocol upgrades. The humanitarian proof of concept that proves real impact. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees used Stellar Aid Assist to distribute $4.6 million in humanitarian aid to displaced populations, enabling cash withdrawals at MoneyGram locations with full transaction transparency. This demonstrates blockchain's potential for transparent, efficient aid distribution where traditional banking infrastructure fails. The International Rescue Committee deployed similar programs reaching 83,500 people affected by the Ukraine crisis, cutting administrative costs by 70% compared to traditional methods while ensuring funds reach intended recipients within minutes rather than weeks. The network metrics that tell the real story. By Q1 2025, Stellar processed 94.6 million on-chain payments, up 12% quarter-over-quarter. Decentralized exchange trades hit 1.1 million, marking 10% growth, while USDC circulation reached $215 million despite broader market volatility. The network maintained 99.99% uptime with average ledger close times of 5.84 seconds and fees averaging $0.00015 per operation. Unique addresses totaled 9.3 million, with cumulative operations exceeding 18.8 billion since inception. These metrics reflect genuine economic activity rather than speculative trading, positioning Stellar as mature blockchain infrastructure supporting real-world financial operations. The coming institutional tsunami. Multiple catalysts are converging simultaneously. Protocol 23's September upgrade provides technical foundation for 5,000 TPS capability. PayPal's PYUSD integration, pending regulatory approval, could onboard millions of users. Growing tokenized asset adoption positions Stellar as infrastructure for institutional-grade liquidity at unprecedented scale. Most importantly, regulatory clarity transforms Stellar's compliance-first approach from constraint to competitive advantage. As institutions demand proven, auditable blockchain solutions, Stellar's track record of enterprise deployments and regulatory alignment creates insurmountable moats against speculative alternatives. The signal versus the noise. While retail markets chase the next meme coin, institutional capital is quietly flowing into infrastructure that actually works. Stellar's $3.4 billion in Q1 payments, $757 million in tokenized assets, and partnerships spanning Franklin Templeton to the United Nations represent operational utility at enterprise scale. The convergence of technical upgrades, institutional partnerships, and regulatory clarity creates a perfect storm for sustained growth. When traditional finance needs blockchain rails that deliver speed, compliance, and predictable costs, they choose the network that's already proven at scale. This isn't speculation, it's institutional validation occurring in real time across multiple verticals. The data doesn't lie. While everyone was watching the hype, Stellar built the infrastructure that will power the next decade of digital finance. Whether you're positioning for the next wave of institutional adoption or simply seeking blockchain projects with demonstrable utility, understanding Stellar's quiet revolution provides crucial insights into where smart money is actually flowing. The blueprint isn't theoretical, it's operational, scalable, and institutionally validated at levels that dwarf most competitors combined. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here, running on rails most people don't even know exist. But now you do.